like sagging and dangling should be appropriately, like this wire here that you just had to duck under, Matt, that needs to be tacked up. And it is my belief that it's likely abandoned wire and not in use, and all the abandoned wire was supposed to be removed. Let me see, center room, what we were supposed to look at. Now this is where you're going to have to look at photographs. Do you have a flashlight on your phone?
I have a flashlight.
Yeah, please shine that. Okay, you can see here where the water seeps in, and you can see the moisture damage here, and I have photographs of what it looks like after a rain. There's a crack in the foundation there. There's not proper, moisture barrier, so the basement floods. This wood has evidence of water damage. It wicks it up, it gets soaking wet, and it molds. So this is the worst leak, but it leaks on both sides. Remember I told you where I said between the two windows. So we look, there's 2 windows. There's the next window. So it looks like that's probably the location of the downspout that's cracked the foundation. So that leaking needs to be addressed. And it's on this side too. You can see here, if you shine your flashlight here, you can see where the puddles were. See the white lines? Like right around here? It pools when it rains in the whole basement. Same thing on this side. You can see, shine the light there. You see the white residue on the floor where it was pooling. So we will go upstairs and look at that when we get upstairs. But you can see moisture damage. I forget what they call it. It begins like, I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Alex.
Alex. It's a big vocabulary word for me. It begins with an EF when things get moisture and they powder. What's it called? Do you know what that is?
Can't think of it.
But you can see there's evidence of long-term moisture seepage here, even on the wood, causing mold. Up there too, you can see evidence of moisture damage. That's probably about where the kitchen sink is, where that leak was. And you can see that the wood is rotted, that whatever had gone on so long that there's been some wood rot there. So going over here, when the building inspector did his inspection, he said that this fixture should be porcelain. Can you touch that and verify that it is not porcelain?
Porcelain?
Yeah, it should be porcelain.
Okay.
He was supposed to replace it with porcelain. He did not. And if you come over here, I don't know what code book says that's okay.
What are we talking about? This here?
It's bare wire here.
Okay.
If that's first of all, that's the old knob and tube, and it's not in a J box. And if it's not in use, all this abandoned wire is supposed to be removed. If it is in use, it shouldn't be bare and hanging out like that and not in a J box. That is not safe. And not only that, look at where it is. I don't think there's any code book that allows you to put plumbing and pipes that close to an electrical fixture.
Well, so a lot of that, because I know the building division had an electrical permit that they addressed here, so a lot of that would kind of fall more into their realm of expertise.
Yeah, but they can't look at anything if you don't tell them to. It has to come from you, the referral.
And so what I mean is a lot of this stuff might be follow-up for the building division because they just approved
Right, but they approved it, and I have to go through you to get them to come back.
But my problem is I can't disapprove something that they just approved. You know, they're the expert. They're the ones that inspect on permits.
They didn't inspect it. They did it by phone. They did it by video.
That's their policy right now.
Yeah, you need to follow up with them.
Yeah. For stuff like that.
So can you at least acknowledge that you saw it? Would you please take a picture of it?
I see what you're talking about, but what I'm saying is I can't call it a violation if they just approved it. You get what I mean? I will take a picture of it and I'll forward it
take
to
a
him,
picture because he didn't see it, so he doesn't know. I'd like you to send it to him, and I'd like you to CC me so they know that it's been done.
Again, that's something that the owner needs to follow up, or you need to follow up with the building
And you can
division
see here too that that's supposed to be a strap for the pipes, and it's not strapping the pipes. The pipes are not in the strap. So Omarosa is not in charge of the building inspection. It's somebody
Not
else.
building division, yeah. The building division is a separate entity. We're neighborhood services
Okay.
section.
So you can see also here, bare wire,
Yeah.
and that's not a proper splice. All these splices here, abandoned wire is supposed to be removed.
Yeah.
So you're just saying you won't call attention to it.
Well, no, what I'm saying is the building division just approved a building permit for electrical work in this basement. I can't come back behind them and say, no, I'm disapproving this permit because they just approved it. They're the expert on the permitted
Well,
items.
he's supposed to have a permit to fix it, and then they said that he fixed it and he didn't fix it.
Yeah. So that's something, like I said, that's something that you'll have to follow up with the building division on because I can't.
Okay, but I would like you to CC me on an email. You have a picture of it now.
Okay.
And I just want you to communicate to them that this is the condition that still exists.
Okay. I'll send something to the inspection supervisor.
So let me check my list here. Those were my biggest concerns. And there's still, as you can see, there's still rat droppings, so there's still rat activity.
Yeah.
And under here, same issue with the abandoned wire
Mm-hmm.
and wires that should be properly strapped up. Could you shine your flashlight so I can video it?
Yeah.
Thanks. And all of this, under these rooms that have the knob and tube,
Mm-hmm.
there's an electrical hum, like constant. So you can tell that it's not grounded because of the sound.
Okay.
So let's look at our checklist. I've got copies for you guys so you can look at them too and make sure we looked at everything. There's two there, one for him too. I even forgot to write on there about the plumbing strap in the basement. And building inspection told me that they couldn't look at anything that code enforcement didn't write up in their report. So since no one ever wrote up the flooding, oh, I know what else I forgot. That's something, when we go inside, ask me to show you the photographs of the roofing shingles falling off.
Okay.
And so those are the only covers you have, right?
Yeah.
So go ahead and throw them. You can throw them in the garbage right there, and I have some others I'll give you so you can come back in the house.
Well, what's left? Just
Photos.
showing the photographs?
Photographs of the storm damage, of the water leaking.
And shingles, you say?
Yeah, and shingles.
Okay.
You want to look at the shingles from outside first?
Well, where did you take the pictures from? I'm curious.
On the ground, they all fell off.
Okay.
They blew off in the storm. So they've been picked up as garbage. So the photographs are of how many shingles fell off the roof. And the issue too, it's partly, that it leaks under the eaves, but it's also that it's composite shingle on top of wood shake. And so the rats have burrowed underneath the composite shingle through the wood shake and gotten in. So replacing the areas where the rats get in is critical. And that has not all been addressed because pest control cannot walk around the roof and do an inspection. They can only look at the perimeter.
Okay, so it's not a roof leak that you have an issue with.
There was a small roof leak under the eaves, under these windows right here, under these windows.
Okay, that was taken care of.
No, that was not taken care of.
Okay, because you said that there was, so I'm just picking up what you said.
There is.
There
There is.
Okay.
It's not raining that much.
Can you show us inside where that leak is?
I
Or
could
show me?
try, but we got to change our shoes back. Let's lock up the basement. And let's look at the pictures first. Oops. Well, that's open. I'm going to get that stick out of there.
I'm gonna have to go back inside to go out anyway, right? Because that gate's locked.
I can unlock it, but you were going to go inside anyway because you were going to look at the pictures.
Yeah, well, yeah, I would just, if that's all there is, Matt can look at those. But,
Oh, you want me to let you out?
well, no, go ahead and give me another set of shoe covers.
Okay, these are a bit tricky. They're not as nice as the ones that you have. So what you do is you stretch them out in order to get them to separate, if that makes sense. They might be too small for you guys. And you can throw yours away in there too. And try to put these on.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So if you could give me the proper contact email and phone number for whoever I'm supposed to talk to in building inspection.
Oh, I can do that for sure, yeah.
Yeah, but I'd appreciate it if you can say that you actually witnessed it, that it's currently an issue. Maybe you should put 2 on one foot, one from the heel, one from the toe, and I'll go get you some more.
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
No problem.
And I appreciate your good manners. I really do. It's refreshing. Thank you. I'm going to let you open the door so we can distance socially. Come on,
Okay.
can't touch that. Oh, where did I set down my thing? So let me pull them up on the computer and then you can look at it.
So I don't have any problem looking at them, but I need to stress again, I can't use any
You
evidence.
saw the water damage.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm just going to show you so that you know how bad it is. That's on this side of the house. And you can see where the water line was further.
That was that worst one that we saw?
No, that was not the worst one. The worst one's over here.
Oh, okay.
You see, it takes over the whole basement. That was the one that was barely bad. See, this is the worst one.
And that's every time it rains?
No, it's like every time it rains you get a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but only in a heavy rain does it get this extensive.
Okay.
So this is like a heavy rain. It floods the whole basement. I'll show you what a lighter rain looks like in a second. But you can see all the moisture damage here too on the wood and the mold. I get nosebleeds every night from the mold. Let's see, let me go back to the... How do I get to the whole thing? Because this is not the picture I want to show. Okay, and then the shingles. You can see all the shingles all over the yard. That's the backyard.
And that was in that heavy wind we had that...
That one big heavy wind. We lost shingles everywhere. And then I'll show the branches after that. All those branches.
Okay.
To show that, that that tree is in active danger. Branches all over, shingles everywhere. So there's all the branches all over the yard. And it's still actively a problem. Moisture even on the staircase. That's the hallway to the staircase. But you want to see what it's like on a normal, like on a more normal rain. Let me pull that up on YouTube. No, where was it? It is on Google Photos.
I don't necessarily need to see what it looks like on a lighter rain. I was just curious.
Just the recent rain we had was like this. Okay, here we are in the basement. It's Friday the 19th. I spoke to Omarosa on Wednesday, and she said that Matt and I think it might be Anthony or something are coming by. I can't remember the second guy's name. Okay, so you can see the what it was like. So that's it.
Okay.
Does he need to leave?
Oh, he just had to take a phone call.
Okay, and then I wanted to show you the toilet. So the toilet was on YouTube.
You were going to check if it's still doing it, right?
Oh, I was going to check and see if it did it this time. No, it's not doing it.
It's not, okay.
No. But I did want to show you the video. And I don't know, is the owner responsible for cleaning up underneath the drawers, like in this built-in drawer where the rat poop was, or do I need to just hire somebody for that? Is that a civil?
Well, if it's rat poop and stuff like that, I would assume the pest control company would be the one that would do that.
They don't clean.
Well, some pest control companies.
Yeah, the one he hired doesn't do any cleaning.
Okay. I would check with the owner. I would see if he would take care of that for
And
you.
you can look here and you can see that this hasn't been cleaned out yet. I'm going to have to hire somebody because he didn't do it.
It doesn't what now? I'm sorry?
It didn't get cleaned out from rat poop.
Oh, okay.
So please don't step in there because I don't want to track it around. But I can't use that room yet because it hasn't been cleaned out.
Yeah, just as a very general statement, generally most cleanliness items are tenant responsibility.
Okay.
I'd have to check.
Well, it's just that Gwen had told me that he was going to clean up after the rat droppings.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what to do.
Okay.
And when I tried to hire somebody, he ran them off. He said, "You're not allowed to do any work on my house."
Okay.
So I was going to show you the toilet. So let's see.
Well, the toilet's not doing that anymore. You know, we can't
Okay.
cite it.
All right.
Yeah, like I said, we kind of have to
So,
witness it ourselves.
Let's look at our list and make sure we covered everything. I don't know where I set my list down. Let's see. So we talked about the palm trees. We talked about the roof damage. We talked about the main electrical panel and that the garage is not on that panel. And you can see that. Oh, you didn't look at the sub panel in the basement.
I was down there. I saw the sub panel there.
And did you see
what did you want me to see on it?
that that the garage is not on that sub panel?
Well, it's on the main panel though.
It's not on the main panel. Let's go back there again.
Well, I know what you mean. It says farm or barn.
Yeah, that's
So-
not the garage. There's two buildings in
But
the
I thought
back.
you said that one, if you shut that off, it turns off the garage too.
Nope.
No. Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
I told you that there is a sub panel in the garage.
Uh-huh.
There's the barn is on the same electrical as mine. So let's go back and look at the electrical again, since you seem to have misunderstood.
Well, no, I get what you're saying. So the barn's on this panel.
The barn, which belongs to
So
the
what panel is the garage on?
one that's in the barn that I don't have access to.
But any power being fed to the barn should be controlled by that barn breaker.
So
You get
if
what I
the
mean?
barn breaker is if the garage panel turns off, I can't turn it back on.
Has that happened?
Yes, the landlord shut it off and I couldn't get out from the day before court.
Okay.
He shut it off, but I mean, it's not happening because of a faulty.
Well, there was
Well,
while we were doing the building inspection, there was an electrical surge where everything went off and on,
Okay.
and nobody knows what caused it.
But in other words, you just want access to it, for convenience other than anything else.
It's so that if I'm trapped in the garage, I can turn it back on so that I can get out. So I'm not trapped.
Okay.
Because my car is in the alley. I would have to walk all the way around the block to get to my car,
Yeah.
to get my groceries or anything else.
Okay.
Has that happened?
Yes.
Other than when the landlord turned it off?
Friday the 11th, he left it. He flipped it off. I don't know if he did it.
Right, but what I'm saying is, he physically did it, but has it happened on its own?
It has not happened on its own, but it could happen on its own, and therefore I need access to it. But not only that, it needs to be inspected for safety because it's part of the property.
Okay.
Well, we don't do safety inspections. Let me just clarify that.
So why do they do an electrical inspection?
Well, that I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know why they were required to get a permit.
Because there were problems, that's why, and that's why it should have been included.
Right, but
So
that's why I'm asking these questions. If you're having problems, but it doesn't sound like you're having.
Oh, I told you that the wires are not grounded and that they hum and that there's surges of electricity that it goes up and down.
I'm back at the garage, at the breaker for the garage. That's the issue that I'm.
Just that one time.
Okay.
But it's still part of, there were fire hazards and issues found in the interior of house with, which would, and, because of the age of the house and the age of the wiring, they haven't made knob and tube since the 1930s. It's almost 90 years old.
Yeah, but
or
actually,
more.
Knob and tube wiring, believe it or not, is one of the safest wirings, and as long as it's operating the way it should, or that it's supposed to, then this should be a problem.
If it's not spliced to Romex, that's the problem, is when you splice the two together.
Yeah. But then we get back to the part where the building division is the one that's responsible to inspect on the electrical
Right,
permit.
and they need to come back. That's the whole point.
So yeah, he'll give you the contact as
Yeah.
to who you need to call for that and follow up with that.
And who's in charge of the leaking basement?
In charge of well, we can address that, but
Well, yeah, the thing about basements though, because see, we're looking at, code enforcement looks at habitability issues.
Yes,
Right,
and it's a mold
the
issue.
The basement is not habitable space, right? And basements, including this one, was at one point dirt, and there's a reason why they're dirt, so that water, basements are not meant, but are known to leak, right? So that's why when they're basements, the water just seeps into the ground. There's no issue. Here for the concrete, which is allowing the water to accumulate, but as you can see today, it's completely dry.
The wood is wet and the wood is molding,
Yeah.
and I get nosebleeds every night.
You have what?
Nosebleeds
Oh,
from the mold.
okay. All right. Well, I didn't see any mold. I don't know if you did.
I didn't note any mold specifically. No, I saw. Some
But you
dry.
do note the moisture.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
But anyway, we'll address the issues that. we
Are you
can
going to
address.
address the issues under the sink? Is there anything that can you give me some feedback on what you are going to address?
We're going to be issuing a notice. It's going to go to the owner, and
And
then
may I have a copy of it?
of course.
Thank
and,
you.
And so we'll work it out, and we'll see. We'll kind of go over everything we've covered today. Figure what's reasonable amount of time for the owner to complete the work, and then we'll be issuing a notice to him.
Okay.
So does Gwen have your email already?
She never emails me. She does, but she doesn't respond.
Okay. I'll see if I can get it from her. If not, I'll call you.
Yeah, I can give you my email because
Okay.
she's not been responsive. It's macarenadog@gmail.com.
Okay. All right. Well, you should expect to get something then probably today or tomorrow from me.
Okay.
All right. Anything else before we go?
No, I'm just concerned about the moisture in the basement.
Yeah. Okay.
That was my biggest concern because that's causing the mold.
Yeah. We'll look into it. I'll talk with the building division. We'll see what we can do with all of it, and we'll get back to you.
Yeah, I mean, I would think at least they could look at it.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's when we get kind of into the more in-depth stuff, we like to at least get advice from the building division on how something should be performing, and then we can kind of base our requirements off of that. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think the same thing should happen where the electrical fixture is right by the plumbing.
Mm-hmm.
and bare.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, nice meeting you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
Have a nice day.
You too.
Bye-bye.